Hello, hello, and welcome back to my playthrough of the Haruspex route. Yesterday we had been framed for a murder we had not done, got jumped by a bunch of hasty men, and subsequently tried to clear up our name, mostly successfully. Today, our mission remains obscure. Find yourself in the night, and as you'd remember from the bachelor's route, nights are mainly used to gather and get a little bit of money in slightly bloodsheddy ways, but it is what it is. It's a living. Bottles. Another thing. Stalks of Twirin quite commonly appears out into the steppes, but it can also be found in little stalks around the town. I know there's a map online that has all the places, but I'm not using one of those. I figured out how to full screen the game semi-properly. If you can tell, the bottom here is cut off for some reason. That's some kind of interaction with the tool I'm using. But it's not that important to me. So I can't actually use notes like I did. Doesn't bother me personally, but yeah, this is a lot less, I wouldn't say the last thing was scripted, but I'm even more clueless at what we're doing today, so that's great. But for now, let's just scavenge. Look about, interact with people, see what the townsfolk have to see, or say. You are a suspicious crowd. Your mugs scream of penal labor. Each of you is a murderer-to-be. What, am I wrong? So what? Did you find out whose guys the Shabnak assumed yesterday? I didn't. Tell me, what do they store in the local warehouses? The mortal remains of the light animals are in the southern part, as well as hide and ground bones, jerked meat, cured meat, smoked meat, canned meat, all storaged and ready to go. The southern part of the warehouse is a giant bull mortuary, so it is. What about the northern part? Northern part is housed to consumable junk. The regular train comes regularly, as is evident by the name, bringing fancy goods to our neck of the woods. Pants and snaps, chemicals and perfumes, all of them thingamajigs. It is essentially another mortuary for everyday life as the killer of spirit. Well, aren't you a philosopher? Oh, well, some rag I am. I'm walking ashes, a freak devoid of grace, as we all. Do not take yourself too seriously, and you would learn the truth. Bottoms up, brother. The grass is wiser than we are. As for you, do try to just take yourself for granted, kind sir. Stop being so hard on yourself. Yeah. Those drunkard types, I've noticed, kind of have a poetic flair to them, which I found kind of interesting. Suppose that's what happens when you're hangover? Or maybe they're just trying to become artists. It's all valid. Wish we had a place to call home so I could store off these weeds and, bleeding orifices. But as for now, there's nobody we can terribly trust. Besides maybe Vlad, but I don't even think he has a little storable container. rainy gray night. Not gonna lie, if this game didn't look like 2005 3... it is a 2005 game, what am I talking about? But if this was, enhanced, I think this night is really pretty. Got a little hurt, but the rewards make up for it. Oh yeah, one thing we should do. Grab coffee from the Broken Hearts pubs so we can, kind of fund these walkarounds more. Because as it stands, doing this wastes a lot of exhaustion. Gonna need to we'd need to sleep earlier on in the quest, and I remember during my first playthroughs, that was a terrible issue. Every single day was creeping up on my last bit of time. That being mostly because I didn't know about the items that kept you awake. You there, good sir. The prices are awfully inflated, so can really get away with selling a lot today. So let's compare the prices to the normal markets to this guy. Hello.
My dear changeling has sentenced someone to death, and me, I looked at her, and then I thought, she's an idiot.
Do you know Maria? Do you? Be careful around her. Her love is more devastating than her hatred. I can imagine.
Your face is...
Eva is scared witless. And how's my Maria? Does she remember my little brother?
See a worthy fighter before me. What are you, soldier or an inquisitor? No, I am an architect, and also one of the most dangerous people in the town. Oh. I hear I was thinking that the most dangerous person in the town was me. You want to challenge me for that title? I'm all for it. Well, if we do compete, you'll outdrink me easily. That's clear as day. Ha ha ha! You're a funny man. Nah, you can't settle this by the means of vodka. Let's see who can end more lives in a short period of time. Shall we make it 10 days? I don't kill people. I save their lives. I'm a surgeon.
What?
I'll tell you what. We're leaving, my brother and I. Our belongings can go to blazes. How about I give something away to you, too? The moment seems appropriate. See how the prices have shot up? A great time for profiteering. Having seed money can make you a millionaire by the evening. Oh. I have money. Tons of it. 4,000 in local currency. I want a mere nothing for it. I need brown twire. 10 blades, no less. Straight, clean ones, no flaws, no color. Preferably named, but that's optional. Brown twire will yield to you. You're a Menku. Deal? I don't get it. Now am I supposed to make a fortune by the evening? You don't get it? With my money you'll be able to buy a whole load of goods and resell them for 3 times as much. At a certain shop. I have got good resources. What shop? Not so fast. Like I said, my sources are reliable. Victor won't let us down either. It's all cut and dried with the Canes. They've got no time for mercantile, whatever. Matters anyway. So overpriced away. Well, what do you say, huh? So you want the brown herb? Okay, we'll have it by the evening. Got a side quest early. It's letters. Round Twire. Just 10 stocks. Fair enough. We can go looking around in the steppe while it's early. Alright, the coffee. So apparently there's someone I can pawn off to. Someone in the town that will sell even better than most merchants. Given that I have a lot of trash I can easily pawn off, that is quite appealing. Alright. Suppose I'll keep my eye out for Twire. I don't need this bone necklace. It's a pretty weak item. I mean, it's kinda good. It goes to children for 2. Doesn't have much monetary value. But I have better items I'm carrying around. Including herbs and weeds. For I am a Menku. I just found this shadow effect on the works piping really interesting. I suppose not technically interesting, but I like how it's one of the few buildings in the game that's just constantly kind of towering over you. That's a very weird effect when you see it pop into the fog. It's just like these big gray cylinders rising to the sky. At least I find it kind of interesting. Anyways, best part of the game. Walking through a field and hoping we find the right asset. Oh. I suppose this is also the point where I can talk about more meta elements and things like that, since this is as monotonous gets, honestly. Walking through an empty field, looking for... pretty much picking flowers. So, I hope people have been liking the new way I've been uploading, with the, video every day. The 3rd video is going up tomorrow, and I'm working on this recording, which I can probably chop up into another 2 or 3. Probably 3, knowing the length of each day. Perhaps shorter days will wind up being a 2-parter. But, yeah. Should also tell you that I have no idea what I'm looking for, but I did just get peanuts, so that's pretty cool. That green looks out of place. No, it's a texture on the abattoir. Which is another superstructure that's imposing. Hello, cattle. Move for me. Christ, the Aurochs so loud. Okay, there's some fire. Oh. There's a mound over here. Let's check it out. Huh. Some kind of like sacrificial stone. Maybe we'll return to it some other day. Not gonna lie, the filter of the rain is a little detrimental in trying to look for weeds. Specific weeds that are relatively out of place looking. Whatever that's supposed to mean, I suppose. Hoping that these bloody, moldy bags somehow spawns flowers underneath it. Actually haven't explored this area. I remember finding it interesting in the second game, but in the first game I just never really bothered to walk this far out into the steppes. Besides when the game requested it of me, which would give me a marker which I'd blindly follow like, well, cattle. At least the music is pretty amongst the monotony. They even just looped for us. What a kind music. Very nice. Respectable boy. That one looks out of place. Pick. Yeah, those are the ones that I understand the best. The ones that look directly out of place. It's not like that one blade I got on the first day in that, like, underneath the something staircase to nowhere, where it was just the same asset plastered all over and only a single reed was different. Hello, worm. I feel the smell of blood. You have with you the blood of a person that is not with you, right? You have a keen nose. How much blood do you need? It isn't I who need it. The earth does. The earth won't take more than it needs to grow as many herbs as you will take from me. Alright, take it. So, by doing that, we actually caused more herbs to spawn in the world. You can do this to kind of refresh the population of weeds. Or twire, rather. We are the worms inside Bodo's body. We gather herbs. Brown twire, rusty twire, black twire, and bloody twire. Swevery and Oeg in White Whip speak to us. Give me some herbs, worm. And yeah, they'll sell you some twire. And you trade with them meats. So it could be the fresh meat you have, or the kidneys, the hearts, the blood. I am going to actually use hearts for this. So what we need is brown twire. I'm going to remove 3 so we can get a bunch of brown twire on us. Thank you, worm. May Mother Bodo warm your step. Let's check out the graveyard. Let's pick weeds out of corpses, why don't we? Anything around these rocks? Yep. I think that's black twire? It's possibly bloody. I don't know. The types of twire are a lot more identifiable in the second game. In this game, the icon in the name doesn't terribly communicate well. Alright, so the... Oh yeah, these little sigils, that's, the markings of a group of... or a worm. So, here, here, here. And I believe they sell different things. Like, one of them sells Swevery and White Whip, the other, the bloody black and brown, and then another I would assume is another combination of bloody black, brown, etc. I can't read this. I'm sure it's important. There we go. A little bit of Swevery. Or... it's... You know, I'm not even going to guess. I'm just going to make a fool out of myself. These designs are interesting. I don't really have a theory as to what these mean, but they look important. Especially that I feel like I've seen them before, and I'm just forgetting what they're symbolic of. I can't pick this one up. It's Swevery. This is black twire, and this is brown. I'm just gonna leave it there. What we need most is brown twire, and we're pretty close right now. Just 2 more things of brown twire and we can return to Andre. That's another brown twire. Okay, we're close. I also want to say that this is a gameplay mechanic we're going to be doing, oh, I don't know, every day from this point onwards. So scooch in. Alright, that's the 10th thing of brown twire, I believe. Yep. So let me finish up looking in the graveyard, and then we will be on our way back to the interesting stuff. I don't know what that noise was supposed to be. Sounds like something squeaking open, but we're in a graveyard. It better not be anything Shabnak-like. Don't think I can really take that right now. Alright, let's head back up to the Broken Heart pub. Out from the steps and back into the dry, miserable, poor area of the town. You know, I was thinking about this song to this area after I was done recording yesterday or well, 2 days before, and I love how when you enter this area, the song just gives you this feeling of like a very dry and poor area. It sounds like you're slowly like crawling across a desert. Except instead it's this place. A poor, kind of overgrown, brown street. Also, I want to profiteer off of this because I'm a good person. Cool. Yeah, I always found that very striking. Even the combat track for this area sounds muddy and tribal. Maria,
Yes.
you must be an outsider, aren't you, man of the kin? Haven't seen you here before? Are girls with good backgrounds really supposed to be visiting places like this? Doesn't matter. Notice you're headed for the architects. Are you the man they asked to gather rare herbs before they hit the road? Yep. What do you do? What are you, an Odong? How did you manage to avoid the massacre then? I thought all you were killed by the zealots three days ago. The rest were locked up in the termitary yesterday. I come from a Menku family. Hush, quiet. Listen to me, old goy. The architects are planning to leave our town. I want them to stay. Tell Andre you've managed to discover the secrets of old Isidore's brews. They're quite sought after now, rumor has it. Sabrovs seized Isidore's belongings. I was promised money for this, actually. I'll give you one of the recipes if Andre demands proof. It costs a fortune, but I'm prepared to go to great expenses for a deal like this. I'll also reimburse any lost profits to you, of course. Just be aware that I come from a rather wealthy family. Okay, I'll try. So, a change of plans. We don't give them Twire and
Why
just...
do you all come here to gawk at me?
Okay, calm
I've
down,
had
mate.
my share of dancing. The curtain falls.
I've got news for you, builder. It has to do with the recipes. I'm not a builder, I'm an architect. The old or the new ones? The new. I found something in my father's inheritance. So, you're saying you're planning to brew new types of Twire? Very likely. Well, it's worth staying then. At least we'll see if you manage anything. I'll manage alright. Question is, if you'll like it.
Oh boy.
I often feel like someone's looking at us from the other side.
The architects are staying. You're wise, old goy. Here's the money I've promised and the recipe that Isidore Burak had prepared for Simon. He did it before going off into the steppe. Why are you giving me that look? Do you know who Isidore Burak is? This recipe is worth 5 years of your life, old goy. Isidore Burak is my father. One stem of brown Twire add 2 stems of Swevery. Seal with the stem of white whip.
I
80
often
to
feel
7.5.
like someone's looking at us from the other side.
I guess I can get rid of the Swevery right now. It's a little bit on the rare side, but it's not relevant to us.
There's more life in me that can be lived.
Okay. Yeah, so, essentially by doing this, we get more money, a recipe, which will come into relevance later. However, oh, we also get to keep the stems of Swevery, brown Twire we found. The only issue is, we don't know who's selling at a high price. I do, because I've played this before. And, I think the game... I think that's the game's way of telling me that I know too much about this game. GG. GG. Alright, back at it. I've chosen not to exploit my foresight. It's a little bit so out of the way that it winds up feeling just outright cheesy. I know it is cheese, but like, too far. I shouldn't be exploiting a quest reward on a kind of playthrough that's meant to, you know, show off the game to people. So, instead, I'm going to compare the prices between the pub and this meat shop, and then I'll just sell my stuff off the normal, incredibly inflated prices. Yeah, it's the same at the pub in there. Alright, let's get selling all the stuff I don't need. Actually, I'll just use the tourniquets, because I've been beaten up a bit. Kerosene. You know what, since prices are pretty fucked up, kerosene will sell for a good bit. Golden ring, obviously. Watches, yep. Razors. Actually, looking at the price of razors, we can do that. And there we go. We got a good 15,000 now. We're sitting fairly pretty. Oh, we also don't need revolver ammo. Goodbye. There. Now things are looking a lot nicer for us. Let me check if it's recording. Yes, it is. So, from here, suppose... I don't think there's anything really to do. I'll continue looting bins and then I'll head back to sleep so we can start on the main quest, with 2 side quests down already. This is gonna be a short day, I think. Oh, fucking hell. I hate that move so much. Not that... Okay, well, the forward swipe is also a little bit, cheap. Both for the enemy and for me, because they can just advance with it, but, just knife throws at close quarters when you can't see them coming is really frustrating. Which I suppose is, for the most part, it's kind of the point. It's kind of supposed to be a bitch to deal with. But, there's a point where it just feels ridiculous instead of a fair, like, you aren't supposed to fight this guy kind of punishment. Quick save so I don't lose anything important. Bandage. I'll quickly use one of those, since we just got one. Now we're sitting pretty. Another razor to sell. Bandages and tourniquets also go for a lot, so if you want to trade in water for something to pawn off, then that is not a bad idea at all. Buying medicine from girls is another good way to trick the economy. Something that is worth considering for strategy is that, fights with, yeah, muggers fighting the, drunkards. The drunkards don't lose what they have in the inventory. They lose the stuff they drop on death. So, if one of these muggers, kills a drunkard, you can go ahead and take, like, the tourniquet or whatever they had on him. Well, the on-death stuff gets destroyed. You know, stuff like a lemon or whatever. Or a small amount of pocket change. Again, I should say, a little bit odd strategizing against our role as a healer, but, video games are imperfect like that. Still though, it's a good hustle. Although I will admit, getting a little bit paranoid about where the next dickhead mugger will appear. Another gold ring. That's, my game's just spoiling me now. Jeez. Spy a mugger on the way to the pharmacy, which I will clear out using bandages and razors. Hey dude, toss that knife. There we go. The rich get richer. Well, I'm hardly rich, and with the food prices, I'm not gonna be rich for long, but, you know, it ain't losing. Let me duck up to these bins, assuming I haven't looted them already. It's possible. Oh, no. Then we'll sleep to 8:30, because I think that's when quests start. Shopkeeper. May have a tourniquet. Golden ring. And 3 razors. Thank you, sir. Aw, fucking hell. Yeah, I got a little bit cocky in that rhythm. Anyways, let's trade some organs into VAR, and that will be that. Hey mate, talk to me. There you go. Oh, his stuff has not been refreshed. Still though, I'll give him a bunch of kidneys. And I guess tomorrow morning I can trade the last of the kidneys to another worm. Just so I can get that out of my inventory. You know what? Let's use those now. There. Now we're looking good. Every time we come out, there's another mugger. Oh boy, he's on a killing spree. I want to try a backstab. Oh no, I think he'd just turn around to me. Good going, dude. You did it. You're a model citizen. Just ignore the fact that I gutted him right in front of you. The trauma will wear off someday, I'm sure. And I'll sleep with the bachelors again because it's cozy. There. It all ends in less than 11 days. In which the Haruspex, under any circumstances, gains more than he losses. Shotgun shells. I'll take that. Fuck. Didn't mean to close out of there. Shotgun. There. For the first time and the last time. Very helpful.